an extension to our South African adventure, we headed for Zimbabwe to experience the river and wildlife safari at Victoria Falls. We were a group of 11 hoping to see some exciting sceneries and get close to the wild animals in their natural habitat.
Welcome everyone. My full name is Simelingosi Ngube. So it's quite a mouthful, so people call me Sim. Right, so now we'll make our way to the hotel. The drive is 20 minutes, and I'll tell you more about everything as we drive along.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, you're the driver and the guide.
I do everything.
All right. It took us a long time to process out of the airport customs and immigration, with all visitors who arrived when we did. But Sim was there waiting for us.
Right, so we are on what is known as the Great Northern Highway. To the back of the bus takes you all the way, will connect you all the way to Cape Town, South Africa. So during your stay here, please keep in mind that you are inside a national park. If you're going outdoors after sunset, it's advisable to use mosquito repellent. Daytime you will be fine, the mosquitoes are not active, but after sunset they become active.
Welcome to Zimbabwe.
Our arrival at our hotel was a treat. While waiting for us to be checked in, tribal singing and dancing performances, followed by a taste of local drinks, was a good start of our first day at Victoria Falls Park.
It's actually some interesting sight.
As soon as our accommodations got settled, we were off to our first safari adventure, and we headed for the Zambezi River.
Just an ordinary river, referred to as the mighty Zambezi. Look at the warthogs on the right. So they work here, they keep the loan short.
Hello. Hey. You're welcome to the mighty Zambezi River. In particular, welcome to our Horizon Boat Cruises. My name is Leki, I'm the co-captain. Meet our Captain Skinner downstairs. Skinner is. Our waiter Thomas and Nox. So, good people, before I proceed, I'd like to introduce to you our latest and up-to-date safety precautions.
So we had our drinks served, and the adventure begins. But first came the briefing for safety precautions.
Enjoy your drinks. Thank you.
Zambezi River's beauty has attracted tourists from all over the world. At 2,700 kilometers from source to mouth, the river is the fourth longest river in Africa, and either crosses and forms the boundaries of 6 countries: Angola, Zambia, Namibia, Botswana, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. This is Zambia, part of Zambia Island, and that's the mainland Zambia. We approach a group of hippopotamus in close competition with the other boat groups for better viewing space. And everyone gets wowed every time they pop out of the water with their mouth slowly making moves.
All right, yeah, do it again.
Did you get it?
Seemingly aware of visitors watching them and expecting to see and hear for reactions from us.
Oh, yes.
There he goes. Yeah, open him up.
Was one way of doing
For about 2 hours, we had the opportunity to birdwatch and get close-up views of different animals along the various parts of the Zambezi River.
That's not a bird, that's a rock, isn't it?
the bird. This is a bird on the rock. This is a bird.
And sometimes it's hard to see them clearly from afar without good camera lenses, especially when they blend with the nature's background. We've also seen an elephant moving away, but there were plenty of baboons frolicking along the edge of the river shore.
Oh, what's the ones over there?
The bird.
That's the,
It's mud.
yeah, the two there.
Meanwhile, there were other independent activities going on while we were cruising the river. People just enjoying themselves on speedboats or up there in the air looking down on us. The nature sceneries were amazing, but time went by, and toward the end of our tour, we had a great view of the sun going down in the background. Our boat captain gave us plenty of time to take as much memorable shots of this African sunset before heading back to conclude our Zambezi River safari.
Sorry, good people, to disturb you. Well, those people, we are marking the end of our cruise. So we are going to dock there. We thank you very much for your support. From the other crew members, we like to thank you. We enjoy the rest of the activities and tour around Victoria Falls. Also, may God guide you. You reach your second safe. And please, before you leave, let's double check for the glory. Have a good night and a good night. May God bless you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our next adventure was in an open four-wheel drive vehicle that took us on a unique daytime and nighttime safari and an unforgettable African wildlife experience. There were 9 of us, and after about 20 minutes drive from our hotel, we entered the game reserve.
Right, welcome to Stena Livingston. I'm gonna just get some refreshments and then I'll get going.
What's the name of this place?
Stena Livingston, private game reserve.
Okay. Stanley Livingston.
Stanley and Livingston.
Oh, and Livingston.
Stanley and Livingston. We keep this closed because there's a lodge here. Separate the lodges. There's 3 lodges on the property, so at least animals won't come inside.
Yes.
So what we'll do this afternoon, we'll try mix a bit, drive a bit along the thickets and towards open areas along the rivers.
Once inside the reserve, our guide explained the plan, even while driving.
During the course of the day, when the sun is very hot, around 9-10, a lot of animals were moving more in the thickets to utilize the shade. But right now, majority of them, they are actually leaving, slowly feeding, heading towards water. Feed a bit, and then they head out. Suspect. They come in, they go, they come in, they go. Yeah. The bright red beak. The ones on the sides, they are for the dow.
Our first encounter was a trio of birds hitching a ride on the back of the kudu animal.
They are primarily
And it took a lot of patience driving around and the knowledge of the area by our safari guide for this adventure to become interesting when we finally started meeting some of the big 5 game animals.
Looking at
It's moving.
But with these guys, you know, they spend a lot of hours feeding. Talking of almost 18 to 20 hours or more feeding. Because they need to obtain quite a lot of food. Talking of anything between 150, 250, maximum up to 300 kgs of food a day. Depending what are they feeding and depending on the size. With your elephants, basically, they feed, but they always need water regularly. Firstly, due to their digestion, they are part of hindgut fermenters, which means they need a lot of water. Might actually walk a bit towards it. But they're slowly heading towards water, which is behind us.
As we moved on, we were told to say something if we thought we saw something. And quite a few times when looking around, I thought I saw something, but they turned out nothing, or it was just a piece of fallen dry wood. It was like a hide and seek in nature. We were all having fun and enjoying the moment. Our guide knew where to look for these game animals, and he took us to where in the reserve they normally hang out.
Sun is not in our favor. But let's see.
Oh, there's a clear one. One over there to the left.
So there are some darker ones, and then there are some lighter ones. But a lot of savanna giraffes are supposed to be lighter in color like that. You normally get some of those dark ones, which is part of reticulated giraffes. You normally get them in Kenya. But for us to have one or two dark ones like that, it's normally due to genetics. If there's a lot of melanin in the genes of the male and the female, the outcome also becomes darker like that. Zebras.
Where?
On the right side.
Oh.
So it looks like there is almost two different sets of does of zebras here. It's almost forming one dazzle. This group of zebras is collectively known as a dazzle of zebras, not a herd of zebras, but a dazzle of zebras, due to having stripes, especially the way they are gathering around together like this.
Got birds on top.
A lot of animals in general, they get to eat soils as well, which is a process commonly known as geophagia. Geophagia is a process whereby you see animals eating certain types of soils, especially the dark soils and the red soils, as a way of supplementing certain deficiencies which are lacking in their bodies, like iron and phosphorus.
Slowly driving around along the trail, we encountered an African bluebird perched up on a tree, a guinea fowl, a ring-necked Cape turtle dove, and a few of the red-billed oxpeckers.
You get another species, it's called Javan. You get them in Malaysia. You also get another species which you call Sumatran. Watch out, branches both sides.
This is a female black rhino.
That's a female black rhino, yeah. Sabat out, about four and a half, they're about.
4.5?
4.5 years, yeah.
She's pretty young.
She was weaned, she was chased away by the mother about 5-6 months ago, getting ready to give birth again. You realize black rhinos are more solitary. They tend to move alone.
Toward the end of our 4-hour wildlife safari, we were yet to see the other 3 of the big 5 game animals, the lion, the leopard, and the Cape buffalo. But it was time for our refreshment by the lake before it got dark and as the sun was setting. It is where we saw the other group closely observing another black rhino and looking undistracted of them while doing its business.
Oh. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Beautiful.
Not easy. Gin and tonic? Okay.
Thank you.
Would you get Jack gin and tonic?
We continued on for the nighttime wildlife safari as we headed for our dinner. Our guide carried on driving along the trail, armed with a spotlight and pointing it on both sides looking for any wildlife activities. What is it?
Zebras. They get to feed a bit. The whole idea behind a lot of plants, they get to release a bit of moisture. With a little bit of that moisture, it keeps it going.
It had become a very cold night, but we were warmly welcomed by the staff when we arrived at the camp for our dinner. A big log fire burning brightly, we were thrilled to see tables set up under the stars. It was a magical experience. Great food, a company of new travel friends, and I wouldn't hesitate to do it again.